Hmm.
And we are live. Good
Yeah,
evening, everyone.
and talking about the drink equivalent of pineapple on pizza, which is, which is a diesel, a draft beer mixed with Coca-Cola. That doesn't make any sense.
See, I don't love pizza enough to care what people put on their pizza.
No, no, no. There are two types of people in the world: people who know that pineapple on pizza is wrong, and people who are wrong.
Well, I'm that second type. I don't know it's wrong because I don't give it much thought ever. I mean, I like pizza well enough,
Mhm.
but I'm not one of those I crave pizza and have to have pizza every now and then people. I have pizza if someone's serving pizza.
Yeah, if it's a Sunday evening and man, I don't feel like cooking tonight. Let's get a pizza, and it has to
I
be
never
Sunday.
do
Nobody,
that.
yeah, because on Fridays and Saturdays you do cook.
Yeah.
On Sundays, maybe not.
No
So
Sunday gravy?
no, no, we cook for lunch. We don't cook for dinner.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's either leftovers, or if we don't have leftovers, we'll go get a rotisserie chicken or pizza.
I think Sunday gravy cooks all day. I'm
Hmm.
not Italian American. I really can't tell you. Happy Friday, Tit Goblin. So
Hmm. Tit Goblin
I'm not
was up.
100% sure.
Tit Goblin was up to mischief with his art supplies.
Yes, I saw that. Mischief art supplies.
Hmm.
Starting
That's
trouble and
yeah.
finding
That.
pictures of Todd McFarlane drawing chains before Spawn
Hmm.
in an illustrative rather than graphic design manner.
Speaking of illustrative and graphic, the guy who came up with that abomination that was the Jaguar prototype has been fired, and now Jaguar cannot build any cars over the next 5 years.
Wow.
They don't have a plan. The plan was to go all out on something that everybody hated,
Ah,
and now they don't have cars.
Jaguar.
I remember Jaguars were cool when they had V12 engines.
That sounds like a big engine. It's got 12 after the V.
Yes, but they're also very smooth. You can hardly feel the engine purring. It's like
Ah.
it's like a soft hum.
Uh, I think the biggest I've driven is a V8, and I'm not 100% sure about that. What have I driven was my college roommate used to have a Ford LTD. I think that was a V8.
They had yeah, it was. The thing is,
76 Ford or something like that. It
the
was.
the, the American auto
No,
industry cannot use more than 8 cylinders. They don't
yeah.
know how.
Pardon me.
So
That was the car my sister used to have. He had the Mercury Cougar LTD
uh,
from
but in that case,
70 years.
the Ford LTD and the Mercury Cougar were not identical. So, as you may know, all Mercuries were actually rebadged Fords.
Ah, okay.
But the Mercury Cougar was usually based on the Ford Thunderbird.
Uh-huh. She can walk a Thunderbird like she's standing still. And
The Ford
one
L-
more thing, I got the pink slip daddy.
the Ford LTD was usually identical to the Mercury Grand Marquis.
Uh-huh. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
I'm from Europe, and I know more about American cars than everyone in the American comic book industry.
probably, probably a couple who do, but I don't know them.
Right.
I don't know them.
Speaking of comic books and auto industry, I've managed to ascertain that Barry Windsor Smith is not related to Peter Windsor Smith.
Nope.
So Peter Windsor Smith was an engineer that worked on engines, and he worked most of his life for Daimler buses. Daimler
Uh-huh.
having nothing to do with Mercedes. Daimler was actually owned by the same company that owned Jaguar in the 1960s. And that's what, after some mergers, which included the Lanchester Motor Company and British Motor Holdings, and that's a soap opera, even worse than everyone who ever bought DC. Uh, and And in motorsports, we know the guy because he drew the BRM V12 engine.
Okay.
Which was the last BRM engine to win a Formula One race. He was also born near in the outskirts of London, like Barry Windsor Smith, and Barry had majored in industrial design before he went into comic books, and because the other guy was born Smith and changed his name to Windsor Smith, which is a big coincidence, an industrial designer and around London and old enough to be Barry's father.
Right.
Maybe there's something. And I used Grok to help me find it. And after a bunch of obscure connections, we managed to come into the conclusion that Peter Windsor Smith could not be Barry Windsor Smith's father. So there goes my my interesting story that I could have written about, but now I can't.
The story in your head is much better than reality.
Yes.
And since Captain Finity, Time Travel Police, is here now, I can show and talk a little bit about. I read Assorted Crisis Events this week, which might be, one of the fastest times I've gotten to a trade paperback I've bought. I still have a couple back there that I bought like last month and the month before and I haven't got to. But this one I kind of jumped on. It's by, who does it? And I don't think I've heard of the writer or artist. Dennis Camp, Deniz Camp, and Eric Zodsky, Zawa, Zawaddzki is the artist. Zawadsky. Jordi Belair is the colorist. Hassan Atsmain El How is the letterer. And I'd heard good things about this on our show. People in my on my pull list haul. And I just read something that was like, let me show you a little bit of the art, that said that this guy was like an underrated artist or one of the best artists, someone praising his art, which is one of the reasons I got that. And the art is very nice. Don't know who the guy is, but he's got a very interesting art. This is clearly not his first work. He's got he does a lot with color. I think, who is it? Jordi Belair is the colorist, but she has to be working with the artist in order to do some of the stuff that's going on here.
Yeah.
Because the colorist just wouldn't take these liberties with the art. Oh, there's Wilson. Let's add Wilson to the stage. Hello there.
What's up?
How are you doing tonight? I just started talking a little bit about Assorted Crisis Events.
Okay.
And I mentioned Captain Finity just showed at the Time Travel Police because the basic conceit of this book is that time is broken, hence Assorted Crisis Events, but it has nothing to do with superheroes. It's sort of ordinary people.
Interesting. Okay.
And what's interesting too, you've heard me say before that if there was a multiverse, we probably wouldn't be able to tell like the next universe from ours, because they'd have to be like I use the example of me walking down the street, and sometimes I'd turn left, sometimes I'd turn right, and there would have to be a universe where I turned left in this universe and right in this universe, and everything else is exactly the same. So I was like, there'd be an infinite amount of multiverses exactly the same as this one.
Right.
Well, in this, I like that they mentioned in the beginning, like time is just all messed up. You can walk down to the subway and see Neanderthals or whatever. Like and they have something called the time-related events, an ETI, or I forget the initials, but it's like some time-related. But in order to, and sometimes you from the future would come back to try and kill you for some reason. You never know what's going to happen. But they calmed everybody down by saying, okay, if there's a multiverse, they're infinite. So the odds of the person from the future, this happening in the future, being our future is 1 in infinity. So it's not. But that seemed to make everybody calm down. And like everybody is just adapting to this, like this first story is about just a young woman living in New York City, or something that looks like New York City, just going about her everyday life. And she's trying to live her life outside of her apartment. At first you didn't know what was going on. Then you find out they're filming a movie. Post-apocalyptic movies are all the rage now in this first issue. And here it is. Let me see if I can find ATP. Temporal killer. Man, there's a verified ATP. Atypical. Where is the ATP stands for temporal something. And what happened was that here you see her husband's blue. Her husband just got caught there in some sort of weird time loop, and now he's just there. He's gone. He's not alive anymore. This woman desperately wants her husband back, but there's nothing you can do. He's now a temporal anomaly. Oh well. So the first story is just this woman and in her world, and she shows up to work one day, and they're like, "You don't work here. We don't know who you are." And she's like, "That's part of living in the world now. Some days you show up for work and nobody knows who you are. If you go back the next day, someone might know who you are." So this is the first 5 issues, and they're long issues too. I think they're around 30 pages, so it's longer than a normal comic. And you can read any issue you want, because each one is an individual story. Like the first one was just that woman trying to deal with everyday life. Aliens attack at some point that does not help. And let's see, the second story is the story of sort of migrants trying to get somewhere, trying to get out of the dangerous place they live into a safe place like the US or whatever, but things don't go right, They run into dinosaurs and stuff. So it's kind of about the dangers of being a migrant. And then let's see, the third story. Oh, the third story was this. The third story is there was once a town called Hearth. So what happened was there's town called Hearth, typical little town in the US, prided itself on being neighborly. Meanwhile, there's an alternate world version of Hearth where everything goes wrong. The earth starts going through, it starts getting destroyed. There's an apocalypse on the other earth. Somehow a door opens from one hearth to the other. So or at least half the people that are left from the apocalyptic hearth come over to the hearth on, let's say, our earth. But then problems start because there's a duplicate version of people, and all sorts of crazy problems start, and it ends up not going well. But that's the whole story on that, which is pretty darn good. Tit Goblin says these two assholes ran amok last week when you were away, Wilson.
I heard I missed a good show.
We had a good time.
And it was a complete ridiculous reason why I wasn't in.
You forgot.
I completely forgot. I was
the Thanksgiving coma made him forget.
That's exactly what it was. I was took the day off technically from work. I was doing other stuff, and at some point, me and my brother decided to sit down and have dinner. And it's like, well, it's early. He puts on a movie. And got so into the movie, it was like, all right, what are we going to do now? let me sit in front of the computer for a minute. I sit down and not even realize that it's Friday and and it's like 9 p.m. So I can't even jump on the end of the show at all. And it's like, and I bought books that week.
It's stuff to show off.
And it's like, and I completely forgot about the show.
It happens sometimes, I guess. And let's see, the fourth story is a 13-year-old girl caught in a time loop. There's the time loop page, and you read just around.
That's an interesting design.
What's crazy is, and it's a time loop with her parents arguing and her father hitting her mother. And she was caught in that time loop for like 1 million years. So she's like, I'm 13 plus 1 million. And so she's like living her whole, well, she's not even living a life. She's just in the, and then she breaks out of the time loop, we think. But near the end, we're like, did she really break? Is she still trapped in the time loop? And she doesn't know if she imagined all this stuff and she's still in the time loop or not. So it was a weird story, but it was interesting. And the final, actually, pardon me, that was the fifth story. The fourth story was of a guy who's kept skipping in time. He kept skipping. So he was like, I'm on my way to the job interview. Oh, I've been working at this job for 3 months. Oh, I got married. Oh, my wife's pregnant. It's like he has no control over his life. His life just happens to him as he skips forward in time. So lots of time stuff in this assorted crisis events. Very good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like I said, each story is there's sort of some weird, there's this bum with a jetpack who shows up in the background every now and then. Mm-hmm. Who knows what he's doing there?
I found Eric Zawadzki's website.
Yeah.
It's ericxyz.com, which is a good name.
Yeah.
And he has an alternate cover for Assorted Crisis Events number 6 with Youngblood. And it's the guy holding up a sign in front of Youngblood saying, "Youth is wasted." And the last few years, he worked on a trilogy of graphic novels for DC, for those young adult graphic novels that they put out. But his actually looks good. So it was 3 called The House of L. It's set on Krypton before the planet blew up. And before that, he has a couple of interesting graphic novels here. Something called, there's one that I don't like very much from the art called Heart Attack, but the other ones, Eternal and The Drags, they look very good. Okay. So The Drags came out in 2017. And it kind of looks like the same old guy who's showing up in Assorted Crisis Events. Yeah, and it's sort of a whodunit because people are disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
And they suspect it's and people end up being eaten. The other one, Eternal, is about Vikings.
Okay,
and the art's pretty good.
His storytelling is really sophisticated. Mm-hmm. He's using a lot of techniques.
Yeah, on Against the Wall, the art doesn't look as good.
Good evening.
Because there's a cover here, and there's 2 people hugging and kissing, and they don't understand how their bodies are touching. So maybe he did 2 graphic novels. They were awesome, and he kind of phoned it in on the 3rd one. But the House of L ones, they look pretty good. So after that, it's smooth sailing. He definitely seems to be doing very interesting work, and maybe I'd like to see more of him.
Yeah. I'm definitely putting Assorted Crisis Events on my pull list, especially since it's an easy one to read issue by issue.
The thing is, because his prior work was graphic novels. I'm not sure he can run into them on the back issue bins.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can get them.
I have to find them on eBay or something.
Yeah.
Which I can certainly do.
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying on I'll show you a couple things I got on eBay a little later, but because I'm sort of a low-end buyer on eBay, that means I overpay for everything. Meaning, if I'm getting a $4 comic on eBay plus shipping and tax, I'm paying $8 for it, or $10, whatever. It's like I'm always overpaying on eBay. That's just part of being, if you want one issue that is hard to find but not valuable, you're always overpaying. So as a consequence, sometimes I like to go on eBay and bargain hunt, which is why I got that one of my favorites. It's A Good Life If You Don't Weaken book a couple weeks ago that I ended up giving to one of my favorite graphic novels by Seth. It's A Good Life If You Don't like. I'll go on eBay and look up some of my favorite stuff and see if there's cheap versions of it just to get a bargain. Like I got that usually goes for like anywhere from $20 to $25, and I got it for $8. I'm like, ooh, a bargain. It's like I'm so used to overpaying that sometimes I just want to bargain hunt on eBay every now and then. Overpaying on eBay. Speaking of which, I did finally finished replacing my Walking Dead 3 through 50. I actually did buy this one back in October, but the person never sent it.
Right.
And then from October till now, there just wasn't one I wanted to get. It was like they're always overpriced or they weren't in good shape. This one cost me $40, which was about what I had earmarked for it. But most of the stuff I saw of this one, they were around $50, $60. I was like, I don't want to pay that much. And I just didn't want to buy it. Like after spending all that money on like 3 through 50, I was like, the last $40, I was just like, it was just like too much for me.
Right. After all that.
Yeah, after all that, I'm like, I'm sweating an extra $10 I have to spend. What is that? What madness is that? But I couldn't do it. I was like, no, I'm not going to spend an extra $10 just to get it done. So this one popped up, and I don't think it was from like an experienced comic seller kind of thing. Because they didn't have a ton of pictures. And they had it listed as good, which is what you do for used books or something. You know, so it wasn't graded as a comic. It was just in good. But the picture of it looks, and it is really sharp. I can't find anything wrong with the front, at least. I did look at the back when I first opened. It's a near mint copy, whatever it would be graded at. And I also, for like a month and a half, I'd always look on the newly listed section, just because I didn't want to. And this one popped up on the newly listed section, and I bought it right away for $40. So now I'm done buying Walking Deads, except for maybe I'll eventually get that. The only thing I want, Walking Dead wise. Hey, Splash! Mr. White Gloves is here. How are you doing?
Hey.
Hello.
Haven't seen Mr. White Gloves in a while. Good to see you. Yeah, there's only one more thing I want in Walking Dead wise, and it's just kind of a cover purchase. So I mean, it's what's his name? Art Adams did a series of connecting covers. The All Out War story arc, I think it was, around issue 157 to 162 or something around there. And I actually want those covers, but and it's like $20 for the set. But I'm like, some other time.
All right. So now you have a full collection of The Walking Dead?
I don't have 1 and 2, but I have
Okay.
reprints of them.
Right.
But I have a full collection again of 3 till the end.
And I know that during this journey, you also have some of them slabbed.
Yes.
Right. Now, the ones that you have slabs, do you also have loose ones to read?
I got reprints. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything in a slab, I got like the Walking Dead Weekly to go along with it.
Right. Okay.
Just so I'd have, because I'm never going to break the slab open. That's too much.
No, that I understood that we wasn't going to break it, but it's like
So
now
I made sure I got a Walking Dead Weekly, which aren't that cheap.
Right.
I mean, some of them were like $10 a piece. The reprints of the early Walking Dead.
Now that you have the full collection, basically, are you gonna read them all?
That's
going to revisit them.
That is the weird thing. Listen, I bought these just to make myself feel better.
Yeah, no, that I totally understand.
I actually want to reread it in color. When they finally put out the color collected editions, I think I'm going to reread it. I'm going to get the color collected editions eventually and reread it like that. Because I was actually thinking about, back when they first announced The Walking Dead, the new color versions, I was actually thinking about buying it just to kind of relive Walking the Dead, to sort of reading Walking Dead month to month, though this time in color. Except they put them out at $4 a piece twice a month. And I went, $8 a month? I don't like it. I don't like it $8 a month worth. Especially when I added it all up together, and $8. What is 200 issues at $4 an issue? Is $800. And I went, you know what? I can probably rebuy my Walking Deads for that $800. Cost just under twice that amount, but still. Yeah. That's when I was like, you know what? I should do that. I have to say, I have a dozen eBay searches for romance and horror comics and a few artists trolling new listings for cool lots for cheap. I was just watching Comics Progressives. He had a little YouTube video about him buying those Charlton comics. And know what's really weird? I left a comment on your video that somehow showed up on someone else's video. Like, I left a comment that said he was giving us his origin story of getting obsessed with Charlton comics. And I left a comment saying something like, I expected to hear a story of heartbreak where the most beautiful woman in the world left you, so you dove into Charlton romance comics. And that showed up on another video that I hadn't even watched yet, another comic book video about a Khazar comic. And I was like, and the person left a little emoji after it. And I went, how did this get on here? I have no idea how it happened. But a comment I meant to leave that was supposed to be left on his got left on. I was like, how does that even happen? I don't know.
I think that if so after you watched his video, the first video,
yeah,
the other one was the next video in your. So what happens with YouTube, depending on your settings,
right?
The other one could automatically start.
Yeah, I don't have autoplay on
while you were in the in the section to leave comments, and that could have been
that could have happened. Like I said, I don't have autoplay on, but that could have happened. I mean, that sounds more logical than any reason I can think of.
Yeah, well, I have a watch later, and if I want to leave a comment, I pause the video.
Right.
Because sometimes I when I feel like leaving a comment, it's 75% in because I need to hear it first.
Right.
And if it's a 10-minute video, it's going on 8 minutes. And it may take you more than 2 minutes to write checks in. So pause it, finish the comment, post the comment, and then restart watching the rest of the video.
I did this at the end even. So I'm thinking may have switched. Like I said, I don't have autoplay on. It wasn't on a playlist. It was just in my feed. But I could have somehow. I could have. The only thing I can think of was I also watch on Duck Player. I don't know if you know what that is.
I do not.
In DuckDuckGo, which is the web browser I use the most, they have their own player that cuts out the ads in the YouTube videos. Doesn't work for every YouTube video. There's some it's like, you got to watch this one on YouTube.
Right.
So what it is so you click on it and another window opens in Duck Player, and down the bottom it says, and you can't leave comments there. And down the bottom it says watch on YouTube. And if you click on that button, it brings you to the video and you can leave a comment. Something may have gone wrong in there too. When I clicked on watch on YouTube, it brought me to the next video or something. I don't know what happened.
Right. That could very well be it.
Yeah, it was just weird that I was like, how did that get there? The next video thing. That happened to me when I watched things on a list, yes. Captain Finn, I got my new Electra Assassin to replace the one that fell apart from multiple rereads. Speaking of multiple rereads, which I don't have, when I was just saying, remember when I mentioned in my hunting for bargains, I said I was looking for how cheap I could get a Watchmen trade paperback. And $6 was about the cheapest I could get it for. Since I looked at that one, they sent me a deal. So just today this came. I got my Watchmen trade paperback shipped and taxed for $3.77.
Wow.
That's how many copies of The Watchmen are out there. I was just like, that's nuts. And I got it too, just because I feel guilty for not having The Watchmen. I sold my original issues a couple of years ago, and I never had a collected edition. I'm like, you know what?
Now you can read it all in one sitting, and you can finally read the text pieces.
I think I'm going to read all the text pieces by themselves first. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to read all the text pieces. Paolo has convinced me. I'm like, yes. I don't even want to read. I'm just going to sit down and read all the text pieces. And
then you can watch the video that Howler Mouse and I did last year.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I was trying to figure out what printing it was. I'm like, I don't know. This is the first printing in 2014 of the updated, revised Watchmen. I forget what they said in the indicia here. This is the one that's got new coloring by Gibbons.
Yeah, I might have that one. That might be the one that I have.
What does it say it is? Somewhere in here.
I can check because I already moved the trade paperbacks to my parents' house. So.
It says, wow, come on. It's impossible to read this type. They make it a little bigger. Where does it say? I had to search all over for where it said first printing. Now I'm searching all over again. I bet this is exciting to our readers, to our listeners, watchers.
Should be in the indicia. Are you looking at the indicia?
Yeah, it says. Well, the edition's got a name somewhere, and this is there we go. It's 4/4/14 first printing. It says, but somewhere there's another name for it. I can't find it, but it's like new color edition or something like that.
Right.
It's not because Gibbons didn't like some of the color work that the original colorist did, so they changed it for this one. John Higgins colored it originally, right? He's still listed as color, so he just must have changed some of it. But I almost got that. One I mentioned before with all individual issues in hardcover, because Wilson made it sound good when he's like, you can go up and pick one volume and read it, go through it, read. I was like, that sounds cool. But I ended up not getting that, at least not yet, because this $3.77. That's crazy. And I forgot how thick Watchmen is. I don't know how I forgot that. I know it's 12 issues, but somehow in my brain.
It's amazing to be able to pick up something at that price point, and it's great. And at the same time, it's probably it definitely would be less than it cost DC to print it.
Yeah,
it had to.
I mean, the original price was $20, which isn't that expensive, but $3.77. I mean,
yeah.
The bookshop selling this make any money? That someone must have given it to them. I mean,
that, or it sat there for so long they decided just to get rid of it.
Get rid of it. And I think they have more than one too. I think they probably have a shelf full of them.
Most likely, yeah.
But yeah, $3.77. I was like, okay, I'm getting it. Less than the cost of some of the new comics I got this week. See, Don says, I heard from a copyright lawyer that one can produce 48 copies of anything without breaking copyright. So now all my Charlton hardbacks are limited to 48 copies. LOL. All right.
That's not exactly true, but there's usually a standard in the music industry that if you produce unsolicited, it happens a lot in electronic music. If you produce unsolicited remixes, you can give out they usually produce around a maximum of 50 promotional copies, and then they hand them out to their friends or to some hotshot producer that they want them to pay attention to them. So it's 50 is usually the maximum. I don't know if that's because of that supposed interpretation of the law, but it is a standard. Now they're also promotional copies, which means that they can't sell them; they have to give them away. But so I'm not sure how that applies to comic books.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I do know, like, one of the things we can do as a comic book artist who's worked in the industry, that's an important part. Worked in the industry, you could take one of your images and make 99 copies to have at a convention. You cannot go over 100. And you could sell a print of your artwork, that's official artwork. You can sell a print of your artwork, but you can't make more than 100 prints.
That's probably a number someone just came up with, right?
I would imagine so. This was something that was told to me by one of the artist editors at Marvel. It's like, at a convention, we could do 99 prints to sell. But there was the caveat of that you have to be an artist on that project at some point.
Right.
To be able to do that. And you're not mass producing the prints, because you usually will do the 99, and you probably will eventually sell out on those after 2 or 3 years, because some people will just carry the same prints with them over and over again. But again, this is one of those things that are said, but I don't know if it's written down. Anyway,
yeah, that 48 number might be. No lawyer's going to take the case for more than 48, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right.
But by the way, this is in perfect shape. I don't think it's ever been read. I mean, amazing. $3.77. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: I've never read Watchmen except in collected edition. The Brazilians published it as a 6-issue miniseries, so they combined 2 issues into one. Okay. And they were U.S. size. They weren't digest size, which is probably a good idea given the nature of the body of work itself.
I think they just put it out at that 6x9 size. What's DC calling that line? Have you seen?
Oh,
Have you seen
is
those?
that the that manga like line
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
were doing?
DC started
Don't.
putting out a bunch of the like Watchmen and Court of Owls and stuff like that for $10 at manga size. There's a
Right.
name for them. I can't remember it.
DC's finest, right?
Is that it? That might be.
It could be. I am not too
But
sure myself.
what amazes me when I see like because I've seen people like online praise them. They really like them. You know, because like I said, and they're like, oh, and it's so convenient, it's so portable. I just put it in my backpack. I'm like, is this size really not portable for? I mean, I understand 6x9 is smaller.
It's
But
easier to carry from room to room, but I would not take that thing regularly on a bus unless I had a briefcase or a backpack.
yeah, I mean, most people are putting it in their backpack. So,
But
you're
you
right.
you can sort of fit a manga volume on your jacket inner pocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that. Hmm. And the other another one I got, once again, just looking for a bargain. I might end up giving this to one of my students. George Sprott. This is by Seth, the one named cartoonist. I'll give you a little look at it. I have the original hardcover, which is actually bigger than this. Came out in like 2009. I've had it since then. Then they came out with this soft cover. It's the story of a local Canadian TV personality. I think there's even some, let me see if I can find them. There's even some gatefolds in here. There we go. Is that the gatefolds? Yeah. I don't know why there's a gatefold with more postage stamp sized panels. But there's a gatefold in here. And like I said, he's one of my favorites. This usually goes between $20 and $30. And I saw this one for, what's my total here? $11.35. So like I said, because I'm a low-end buyer, and end up overpaying for almost everything, I sometimes like to get on and find bargains. So like I said, I may end up giving this to one of my students, but I just wanted a bargain. Did you go to the shop this week, Wilson?
I did not. I was hoping to go to the shop today, but I had to return my new glasses because they were not working for me, and it was like, oh, the prescription was off. So I spent more time. So by the time I got out and got back home and started doing other stuff, it's like, oh, it's going to be too late to head on out. But I do have the books that I got that was waiting for me last week that I was supposed to do at last week's show and completely forgot about the show. So I'm not too sure if some of these books were books that I showed the week before. I don't think so, but there are a lot of books here. So if I do one over again, I do one over again. So these have been packed away so I can do the show, and I completely forgot about them, so I didn't even read them. So let's do a book that I picked up off the rack because I had no idea it even existed, and it is an issue of Gamera Rebirth, which is a manga done in the manga style, and Gamera is one of the giant monsters that doesn't get as enough love as I think it should.
He's the friend of children.
He's the friend of children. He's the character himself is very children friendly.
I liked him when I was a kid.
Although the funny thing about it is that in the movies, the newer movies, the Gamera stuff was very violent to the kaijus fighting each other,
Ah,
where Godzilla rarely shows any bleeding, but the Gamera movies, the monsters are cutting each other up. There's blood. To me, that was just like that was practically scary because I was so used to the Godzilla movies not showing any blood that when they started doing it in the Gamera books, I mean in the Gamera movies, it was a bit shocking to me. You know, my little kid's mind was, clutching his pearls. It's like you don't see the monsters. So as I mentioned, I haven't read this book, but it's nice to see that Gamera is getting a comic book.
And that reads from right to left?
Yes, so it reads like a manga where you're reading it from what we would consider the back of the book.
Right.
So it's produced by Kodansha, and they
Did
are
you get a new camera?
Right.
It looks a lot clearer.
No, it's the same camera. I did change the lights in the room.
Okay, maybe that's it.
So it could very well be that. So and again, so it's a nice regular manga story. I don't know how many they're doing because mangas can run from just a couple of issues to like, decade-long series. So
How much does one of those cost?
So this cost, because I picked it up at Midtown Comics, this cost $12.99, and it's printed by Titan. You get in the UK is $9.99, or £9.99. So
Yeah.
here's one with a kaiju. I'm looking forward to reading that. So it was a nice little surprise that we have Gamera at least in print.
Yeah, I don't. My shop really doesn't. Matter of fact, while I was there at the shop, they were taking a phone call, and somebody was looking for some trade paperback of some kind, and they're like, "No, we don't have that." And he's like, "You can get it from Amazon. We can't compete with Amazon. That's why they don't order many trade paperbacks. Just because you can get them from Amazon for cheaper."
Right.
That's what I do. Matter of fact, do you remember that series? I think I got it over a year ago. Craig Thompson, Ginseng Roots.
Yes.
And I like only found it with issues like 11 and 12. And I was trying to decide, and it was a 12-issue series, if I should go back and get the issues or wait for it to be collected. He's like, it's not going to be collected for another year. And I was like, which one should I do? Because I hadn't read the whole thing, only some of it. And I figured, I was like, you know what? There's going to be a hardcover collection of it, no doubt. And I'm like, the hardcover collection is probably going to be about $40, which means $30 online. But I was like, you know what? I kind of want to get them now. And I ended up finding some good. I probably ended up getting the issues I was missing for around $50, the price I would have paid for a full price hardcover. And he also said that he's going to make some changes for the hardcover. That's why it was going to take so much time. So like the individual issues were really a first draft. So I was like, that made me. So when the hardcover was coming out, I put it on my Amazon wish list, of course. Do you know what it's down to right now? $15. I was just like, that's nuts. All 12 issues in a hardcover, $15. I'm like, that's like 2.5 issues.
Yeah.
I was like, holy cow, that's crazy. So someone might get it for me for Christmas. Someone in my family. Because it's a cheap, but I couldn't believe, I was like, wow. I was estimating 30 on the low end, which it was, 6 months ago, maybe, probably.
Yeah. Again, like I mentioned before, it is wild what the prices of some of these things can go for, where, it's like getting stuff from Barnes and Noble back in the day.
Yeah.
That you will stumble onto something, and I've brought home so many large books
Oh yeah.
because they'll be like $19.99 when they're usually like $120.
Not some of the books I brought home, like big picture books, were like $12. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I think I've got one over there on Irish cottages.
hmm
It was just this really nice photo book on Irish cottages. I'm like, I can use it. This is before the age of Google, and it was like $9, $9 or $10. I'm like, all right, I got a nice photo in case I ever have to draw some environments. I got lots of reference here. That's what I
Yep.
used to do, buy reference books, especially cheap, good photo books.
Oh yeah, exactly. And sometimes you'll get some gems that just popped out of
Yeah.
nowhere. I was able to pick up a book, just seeing if it's out here, because I saw it the other day and I was flipping through it. I don't see it at the moment. So I found a book that they converted and they made it into a coloring book.
Uh-huh.
But what it is their covers, their comic book covers from the 50s.
Okay.
And so it is, the copyright free comic type thing. And they just put all these covers together. I don't even think it was themed. It's just whatever covers that they can find that was copyright free, made them just black and white, and then offered them up as a coloring book. And it was like, oh, I'm getting this not for the coloring aspect of it, but because it's black and white, golden age covers that someone else took the time to basically archive it for us. And it's just a book of covers. And it's like, oh, if I ever wanted to color one of them, I'll just scan it in and color it that way. And I had it when I picked it up mainly because of the fact that I've seen something similar and I didn't pick up the book. And it was like, oh, I thought I'll find it again. And then that's where you learn. If you see a book at a great price, get it right then and there, because it's not going to be there the next time you go looking for it.
You know what book that happened to me with? In like 1987, I was at the mall looking through the local Walden Books discount section, and they had this one called The History of Erotic Art. And it was just erotic art from cave paintings all the way up to the 20s, and it was really fascinating from all over the world. I was like, but I was like, I can't get that. People, I was 20 years old. I can't get that. That's people think I'm a weirdo. But to this day, I'm like, I should have picked that one up. That was a nice book.
That sounds like a great book for the historical fact of it, and you being an artist.
Yeah.
It's like, there are sometimes you'll see a book, it's like, oh, I don't know if I should pick that up. But then again, it's like, what the hell? The person behind the counter doesn't care.
Yeah, and it was at Walden Books. It wasn't some back room sleazy place. It was like they put it out. But no, never got that. I still remember that book going, wow, I should have got that. Nah, I can't. I'll see it again, maybe. Never saw it again.
Yep. Always run into that. If you see the book, get it right then and there.
Yeah.
It's like going going to the comic convention and seeing something at a great price. And it's like, oh, I'll come back to it. You never do. Conventions are too big. You forget where it was, and the next person may buy it. So.
Yeah, I actually had that problem once because I somehow found the two books on Can-Am racing in a bookstore in Lisbon. Oh, wow, they have this. I'll come back next week and buy them. No. 3 years later, there I am in London. Oh, now you're coming with me.
I know better now.
Exactly.
What else did you get, Wilson? Show us another comic.
So another one of the books that I picked up is the Energon Universe G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay.
On the cover, we have Duke and Cobra Commander. Since neither one is shackled, I'm going to guess neither one is a prisoner of the other. And looks like Jeep broke down. They're probably in the desert, so it's probably one of those enemy mine type episodes.
We
where,
need to cooperate in order to survive.
Exactly. We'll show some inside of the book.
And who's doing this one?
This one is by, let's see, Joshua Williams is the writer.
Okay.
Tom Rainey is the artist.
Ah,
Jordi
Belair.
thank you. And Russ Wooton is the letterer.
Okay.
Jordi is the colorist.
Yep.
So it's a pretty
Also
good,
colored. What
solid
did I do?
team.
Assorted Crisis event. Right? Tom Rainey's good.
Yeah, Tom Rainey has been doing comics for quite some time now.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Best Tom Rainey was in Stormwatch.
Yeah, that was good.
So interesting coloring choices. I'm liking it. That's too graphic. Plus,
Might
I don't
scare
want.
the children.
Well, no, it's just more as like I don't know if that would be a spoiler kind of
Okay.
thing. So I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even though the book is about a week and a half old, I still
There's
wouldn't want to
no reason to spoil it just in
spoil it
showing
from
off pages.
anybody. So
Yeah.
here's a nice action shot. And look at all those panels.
Wow. Not as many panels as George Sprott, but getting there.
There you go. I really do like the fact that they take basically an image from inside that becomes very similar to the cover.
Yep.
That's like one of the personal things that I like about comics.
They got
is
some
to take an
storytelling
image,
going on.
there's storytelling going on. So let's see. The next book I have is Power Rangers Prime issue number 12. I have no idea what's going on in the Power Rangers universe. But here's some cool shots.
Go, Power Rangers.
Going back to the Marvel universe, we have Amazing Spider-Man issue number 16. Nice John Romita Jr. cover.
There we go.
And let's see if they're
Was he
doing
fighting there on the
period.
cover?
It says Plague RX.
Plague Doctor, is that supposed to be?
Maybe, or Plague.
Prescription Plague?
Pain. And it's interesting that Spider-Man has his web shooters on the outside as well as on his legs. So I don't know what's going on there. But it is John Romita Jr. artwork, so look at that.
Yeah, he's got ankle web shoot. Maybe those are just spare cartridges.
Yeah, it would make sense if he's carrying a whole bunch of extra ones, which usually that's what his belt's for. But who knows? Maybe Hasbro needs a new toy, so
yeah,
there's another design. And his eyes are red. I'm not too sure
just
why.
Looks cool. Well, his web shooters are looking pretty big and bulky themselves.
Yeah. So, well, once I read it, I'll let you know what's going on.
All right. Spider-Man. Have you read any comics lately, Paolo?
No, but I decided I'm going to reread Longbow Hunters.
Longbow Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just gave that one away last semester.
That's one you never give away.
She thought it was really cool.
Yeah,
I had not even looked at it since the 80s, so I was like, you know what? I'll pass this one on.
It's still a good read because you know how Mike Grell is always getting into the characters' brains. So it's not something that ages in terms of visuals.
Yep.
Because even though it is 80s art, it's Mike Grell, and a lot of the art is about how the characters are feeling.
Has he done anything lately?
Uh,
Last I remember, he did some Warlord. That was a lot of years ago now.
yeah, he did a Warlord.
Because it was either New 52 or right before the New 52.
And he had done a new John Stable freelance miniseries about 12 years ago. But it probably hasn't done it. He should be in his early 70s now.
Yeah, so
hopefully he can't. He's not getting any residuals from his Tarzan work.
no. Hopefully he's got some money and is keeping busy doing something.
Hopefully so.
Did you ever meet Mike Grell, Wilson?
I don't think so.
Mike Grell goodness, says Missing Mar.
I don't recall if I ever did.
I don't recall him ever being at Marvel.
Yeah, because I don't think he was doing anything for Marvel from 95 to 2004.
Did he ever do anything for Marvel?
He did. He started writing Iron Man around issue 50 something. He was the one who came up with the idea that Iron Man shouldn't need a secret identity.
Okay.
Which came out, which was kind of the story idea itself is not bad, but it kind of came. The timing for that storyline was not good because the previous writer probably it wasn't Warren Ellis yet, but there was a whole probably Busick's last issues. There was a whole thing about
what year?
2001, probably.
Okay. Somewhere around there.
And the storyline had been that Tony Stark used a device to erase his secret identity from everyone who knew. Again. And then Mike Grell shows up. You know what? He doesn't have a secret identity.
Why does he need one? I don't know.
Because if you're Iron Man, if you're a famous industrialist, you should tell everyone that you're a superhero. And then at the next board meeting, you're fired as a CEO because we can't have the CEO gallivanting around fighting criminals and probably getting killed or doing property damage, which might make the company liable. Because now they want to know how the armor was created, if it's created for a personal project with company money. But it's a superhero comic book. Nobody cares. As the other guy says, do you know who rotates Batman the Batmobile's tires? Nobody. It's a comic book. Nobody rotates the Batmobile's tires.
Exactly. I think that's where that storyline is where we also found out that Madame Mystique, is it Mystique? Madame Mask backs up her mind every day in case of any mind wipes happen. So
right.
She still knew Tony Stark's identity.
Right, which is good for Iron Man stories that Madame Mask knows his identity. But they were kind of there were about 40 or 50 people who should not know that already knew. So I guess this time he didn't tell Nick Fury, but he did tell about half a dozen Avengers who knew.
Nice.
You know what? Let's do a read, rip, and slab.
Oh, we haven't done that in a while.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick one from the 80s. Let's see. What do we got here? Where are they? Hey, they've disappeared. There we go. Let's go to June 1983. Let's drop that in there. Let me share my screen. Come on, where are you? There we go. It took a moment to pop up. Share screen. Window. June 1983. We've got some DC, Jonah Hex 76, Jim Aparo, Roden Rodriguez, Alien Worlds #3, a William Stout cover, and Alpha Flight #2, Byrne and Austin. So we got Indie, Marvel, and DC.
Interesting. I know I have the Alpha Flight.
I'm late. What did I miss? Everything.
Everything. So I definitely have Alpha Flight 2, or I had it. I definitely owned it. I know I have copies of Alien Worlds, but that cover does not look familiar. And Jonah Hex is like,
I may have read it, I may not.
Yeah, exactly. Because I couldn't tell you a Jonah Hex story if my life depended on it.
Tit Goblin already knows what he's doing. He's reading Alpha, ripping Jonah, and slabbing Alien.
Exactly, I would do the same. And I've already read that Alpha Flight, but John Byrne's Alpha Flight is probably John Byrne's most inspired work.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's always saying, "Oh, I didn't want to write Alpha Flight. They convinced me. They gave me money." Well, but as far as drama goes, it works very well. And that Alien Worlds is just a great cover, so I'm going to slap it. And yeah,
he's reading
an anthology.
Alien World, ripping Hex and slabbing Flight.
Because here's the thing, it's an anthology, so we don't know if the cover actually represents the story inside or not.
Yep. I don't know if I don't have to check. Let me check my database if I have that Alien Worlds or not. I know I was buying that series, but I don't know if I had all of the issues.
And that Jonah Hex, that is probably Jim Aparo's least inspired cover ever.
I like that cover. I'm not saying it's his most inspired cover ever, but I like that cover. It's got a cheesiness to it. I enjoy.
Yeah, I like the cover.
And I want to know who inked it. Let me check who inked that. Oh, no. So Roden Rodriguez. I see. So it's not somebody I'm used to seeing over Paro.
I'm going to slab Alpha Flight because I already read it, but I enjoy it, and a slab John Byrne cover works for me. Now, I haven't read either Jonah Hex or Alien Worlds, but I have a feeling I would enjoy Alien Worlds more because I have not enjoyed any Jonah Hex story because I can't even tell you a Jonah Hex story.
I could never. I remember being a kid. I could never figure out what that thing over his lip was that they kept calling a scar. I'm like, that's not how scars work. A scar is when you get cut and it scars over.
Yeah, it's merged skin.
Yeah.
So it's not really a scar.
It's probably from a burn.
Yeah.
TikTok says, I'm not a Marvel guy, but I believe Alpha Flight is worth the most money.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if it's worth money. Alpha Flight is one of those weird stories for me. It's like, I want to enjoy. I have a nostalgia for Alpha Flight, but for a nostalgia of a series that isn't as good as I want it to be.
But that's a key. It's First Marina,
who they never made an action figure of. I'm still upset about that. Major character to the team, and they have not made. And all they would have to do is just reuse the body from Namorita, put a different head, and you could have her from Alpha Flight. But I digress. That's what it seems. It's like
skin tag on Hex face, but skin tags grow out. They don't connect.
Yeah, this is like, I'm guessing it was a burn and the face merged together there, kind of a thing.
Sketchbook says, haha, 1-year-old me would slab Alpha Flight, read Alien World, rip Hex because Hex is not ginger. That's a knockoff, gentlemen.
Mhm.
I am going to slab Jonah Hex because I'll have the only slabbed copy of that. I mean,
Yes,
Very
no,
true.
just
you'll put
probably,
it next. You'll put it next to your human fly.
yeah, my 2.0
Yeah.
human fly. I'm going to read Alien Worlds and have to rip up Alpha Flight number 2. And I don't have that Alien World. I got all of the, after Alien Worlds was canceled, there was another series, Alien Encounters, by who put that one up? This Pacific went under, and
Eclipse
Eclipse.
continued the series.
What was that?
Eclipse continued the series.
Yeah, but they started with number 1, but it was the same
Mhm.
series, I think. So I have all of those Alien Encounters, but I don't have Alien Worlds. I have Alien Worlds 3D, my database says.
So
I may have the 3D one as well.
Yeah.
I thought about Dolphin. Who I was going to Dolphin. I thought at first, let's Dolphin Marina, for the sake of the French censors. It's a woman in bikini. But no, I'm going to Dolphin, the astronaut guy in Alien Worlds.
See, I was thinking the complete opposite. I was going to Dolphin all those creatures coming to eat him.
I was thinking of that too. I don't know if they're rats.
Well, that
or
might be too many dolphins.
Dash
Yeah.
hounds.
We could just throw one dolphin in with them.
Mm.
We'll dolphin one of the creatures.
I'm thinking of changing Sasquatch for a dolphin, so we have a massive dolphin in the background of Alpha Flight.
Mm.
That's where I would do it. So yeah, so slabbing Alpha Flight, reading Alien Worlds, and that means ripping up Jonah Hex.
I'm going to put the flamingos. I suppose I'm going to put the flamingos on the somewhere on the Alpha Flight cover, maybe perched on Sasquatch's shoulder. And the flamingos are going to be there. They're going to be so every member of Alpha Flight is worried about Marina, what's going on, but not the flamingos. The flamingos are going to be there and not care.
Because that's what the flamingos do. They do not
Yes.
care. Because of that, I'm going to put the flamingos on the Jonah Hex cover. So while Jonah's getting it shot at, the flamingos don't care. Just like me about Jonah Hex, I don't care.
Let's Dolphin Hex. That's one sketch.
Now that's too obvious. That's too obvious.
Alien Worlds reminds me of Fear Agent. He also, yeah, I can. It's the astronaut outfit. Fear Agent had an astronaut outfit too. But I'm gonna put the flamingos in with those whatever those groundhogs are attacking the Alien Worlds astronaut. I'm just gonna mix a couple of flamingos in there. They still won't care.
Also, I can't tell. Is that quicksand?
I don't know.
Because the alien groundhogs. The alien groundhogs are sinking.
Sand. Yeah, it looks like regular sand to me, but I'm not sure how he got trapped in regular sand.
Right, because his helmet looks like it's stuck as well.
Yeah.
So these creatures could have evolved where they don't sink. And I really think one of them on the upper left looks like a dog.
A dachshund.
A dachshund. There you go. The upper right, actually. Right under the S, 2 creatures down.
Tit Goblin says that Alien World kind of already looks like a trunk key. It's not failed, but it could easily with its muted colors. It's a little bit messed up.
I don't think so.
Kept in the trunk for too long.
I like the cover detail with the shadow, with the guy's shadow.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It goes with the sand, harsh light.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that shadow is cast by a harsh light, and no trees or anything in the way. So that goes along with the sand. I'm gonna have to look and see how much those Alien Worlds are now, since I think I always wanted them and never got them, and I always thought I had them but didn't. because I think those came out, 1983. That came out right about when I started going to a comic shop regularly. So I probably wasn't able to, there probably wasn't the budget for the Alien Worlds. By the time Alien Encounters was out, I had a pull list, I had the budget, I could get them, but the Alien Worlds I wasn't able to get. A great year for comics, 1983.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Let me remove this now. Whoops. That's Show It All. Wrong one.
And funny that Terry Austin was inking the Alpha Flight covers, but Byrne was inking himself inside.
Yeah, that is strange, because often the artists would want to ink their own cover, even if they weren't inking inside.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably no. This was after he had started Fantastic Four. So because he was inking himself in the early issues of Fantastic Four, and also here. Eventually, he got inkers. Jerry Ordway and Al Gordon became inkers in the Fantastic Four, and Keith Williams, first Bob Wiacek, and then Keith Williams became inkers on Alpha Flight.
Both good.
And yeah, Keith Williams did an amazing job. He had a way of making things not so solid, give it a dreamlike quality, especially because it was the Great Beasts arc when they travel to the Great Beasts dimension, and Walter Lankowski dies, or his body dies. Then they have to put his soul in Box's armor.
Keith Williams, Keith Williams just reminded me of one of my favorite stories from my friend Ed in our younger years. Early 90s, 91, 92. And Keith Williams was inking a lot of stuff. He would always be in the office, nice guy. And he hired a couple of bullpenners to do backgrounds for him on a couple of books. Common thing, inkers did it all the time. So Steve Alexandrov was this one guy he hired. I forget what book Keith was in. He hired him for that. And Ed was hired for another book. And sometimes Ed would get delusional. So we were over Ed, young and delusional. So we were over Ed's apartment. My friend John lived with him too, my friend. And this was after work at Marvel, and Ed was home doing the background inks on this book. John and I were sitting there watching TV. And all of a sudden Ed goes, I can't get fired from this book. Of course, it was a complete non sequitur to us. We're like, what are you talking about? You can't get fired from this book. He's like, I was we were talking, Keith and I, and he's like, the other book that Steve is doing the backgrounds on is the sci-fi book, and he's doing them all slick and with tech pens and straight edges. And this one's a darker, grittier book, so I'm doing it darker and gritty in the book. And he's like, you know what? The background inker really sets the tone for the book. I can't get fired from this book. Of course, you know what happened the next day. I think the editor was Nel Yomtov, and for some reason he didn't like the background inks. I don't know why. I don't know what was going on, but Keith sheepishly had to, because Keith's a really nice guy, had to fire Ed from the background inks on the book. And Ed was just like, I can't believe that. And we, of course, laugh at him to this day. Every now and then when we're looking at any random comic, my friend John and I will go, the background inker really sets the tone for the book. I haven't said that in a while. Next time I see Ed, I'm going to have to do that. But
gotta get a T-shirt made for him.
but like, poor Ed. Yeah, that was rough. Puck, the 80s man every woman dreams about.
Yes.
Puck. The background inker, I can't get fired. And it was like we remembered it because it was like a complete non sequitur out of nowhere. He was just sitting there working. We were just sitting there watching TV. Oh, the delusion of youth.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Is that yeah? I've said things. I've walked into who was it? It was Ralph Macchio's office, and this is when I think I just got hired, and I was really thinking, you know what? I think I could do this penciling thing, and I was like, I'm going to set a goal for myself. Spider-Man 600 is like 5 to 7 years away from now. I'm going to be on that book.
All right.
And so, of course, issue 600 came and went.
Huh.
My last name was on the book. There was a Ramos who worked on it, but it was Humberto. So I was half right that at least a Ramos got to work on the book. But again, I thought at that point in time, yeah, I'll be able to do this.
I always find it, I always say that when people interview like successful people, they often have like the worst advice.
Mhm.
Because just like you said, I'm going to be on this. That what some person who's actually on Spider-Man 600 could have said to himself. And the story they tell is like, oh, yeah, I said I was going to be on 600 issue 6, and I buckled down and I worked hard, and now I'm on issue 600. You have to do that. You have to tell yourself you're going to do that, and it'll happen. It's like, dude, 100 other guys said the same thing to themselves.
I'm going to be that one.
I'll be that one. 100 other guys said that, and they're not that you saying that to yourself wasn't what made you successful.
Mhm.
Whatever made you successful, I don't know. But
Right.
if all it took to be successful is convincing yourself that you're going to be successful, everybody would be successful.
Yeah.
There was one famous actor who said something along the line, I forget who it was. It was like an interview from a few years ago, who was like, don't listen to me. Don't listen to people who've made it. We don't know how we did it. Like, he's like some of the things that happen. If you think you're in charge of it, you're the most delusional. You know?
Yeah.
Like for every one of me, there's 1,000 people who didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they were really that convinced that it was about believing that they could make it, they wouldn't be worried that somebody else would steal their job.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I don't know how I got here, but I gotta keep this gig.
Yeah.
I'm not letting anyone get near it.
Right. And a lot of times it's like convincing yourself that you deserve the success. That's what a lot of people do too. It's like they have to think because if they didn't think they earned it, that could mess with your whole worldview.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was I remember I only watched 2 or 3 episodes of this of that 80s show, which was not a continuation of that 70s show.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't very good, I remember.
Yeah, but there was that guy that was from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, he was on. I didn't realize one of those guys was on.
Yeah, the one who's normal.
None of them are normal. But...
It is there, and his friend is listening to a self-help tape on their way downtown to wherever they're going, and he's put the Walkman on, but then he talks because he's listening to the self-help. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Repeat after me. I deserve success. I deserve success. And he gets mad at. Will you shut up? But it's I remember I got that line. I deserve success. I deserve success. And then the talking head starts playing I deserve a beautiful house. I deserve a beautiful wife.
It's a good line for a Kevin Smith movie. The background inker sets the tone for the book. Success. Success is a tricky thing.
Yep.
And Ed and I sometimes over the years of sitting around bemoaning whatever our situation is, and then we look at each other and go, and we're the success stories. Can you believe that? We are the success stories. So let's see, what other comic did I get this week? What can I show you? Here's an interesting one. I think someone mentioned this, and I think it's because of it. There's a criminal TV show that's about to start, and Brubaker and Phillips have been doing only graphic novels for the last 5 years or so. This is on uncoated paper, so it looks pulpy. So this is the first actual comic book, a single issue comic book, and it's a one-shot for Criminal. And in the back, so this must be to prepare people for the TV show. They give you a dossier, or for people who I don't know what that. Oh, this is more dossier stuff. Yeah, I didn't read that. Criminal. Oh, it's a criminal RPG. So this is probably for people who like maybe wander into a comic book shop after seeing the TV show and want to read an issue of Criminal. And I hope the TV show is as good as this issue, because this issue was so messed up. It's the story, and I think this is the son. Their last name is Lawless, and I think Teague Lawless, Teeg, has starred in most of the Criminal stories, and take place in the 80s. But this is his son, a different name, Lawless. I forget his name, and it's just about him. He got into some trouble with gambling. I think he lost a lot of money, so he owes I owe 20. I'm 25 grand in the hole with this bookie Carl. Ricky Lawless, you stupid schmuck. That's Ricky Lawless. Is this one. There's Carl, and so he's got to rob this high stakes gambler for the loan shark, and his debt will be wiped out. That the loan shark actually gave him this job. He didn't come up with this idea on his own. He's like, here's what I want you to do. And then so he makes his plan. He's like, I can do this easy. Ripping off guys is what I do. So he, thought, I don't know, he finagles his way into the guy's hotel room. And so he's like, all right, now the only problem is I got to wait here all night because the guy's gambling. I don't know what time he's coming back, but when he comes back, I'm going to rob him. He's like, luckily my buddy gave me a bullet full of cocaine to keep me. So he's hiding in the closet with this literal bullet filled with cocaine. I guess that's, I don't know anything about how you carry cocaine, but he carried the cocaine in what looked like a little bullet casing. And so he snorted it and went, whoops, the idiot gave me heroin.
Oh.
Not that he's got anything against heroin, but heroin makes him ditzy. And he needed cocaine to make him sharp. Mm-hmm. And then just things go to hell from there. In criminal, amusing ways, and a good single issue. If you want to read something and find out what Criminal is about, this, and Criminal is actually my least favorite Brubaker and Phillips series. I still like it. And this might have been my favorite criminal story just because it was nuts. And I don't want to give away any of the nuts things that happened. But when the beginning of the story is, whoops, he gave me heroin and not cocaine. You know you're in for a fun time. Have you guys ever read any criminal?
No.
No.
I like that cover though, but no, I have not read any of it.
And I well, of course, was telling people on my pull list haul, I'm like, this is not newsprint. This is uncoated paper. It's as close to newsprint as we're gonna get, but it doesn't mean it's cheap newsprint. They're not selling it for $1 because it's on uncoated paper. Not gonna happen.
And they probably saved money on not, it being on uncoated paper, but that savings is not going to be passed on.
I don't even know if they saved that much. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think uncoated paper is cheaper than coated paper because they make huge volume of the coated paper.
Right. Yeah. Uncoated might be a specialty paper.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
You might have to pay them extra to not put the coating on.
Amazing. See, it's getting harder and harder to counterfeit comic books. All the things that are needed. It's just,
Oh, we have to mention the big news that I think trickles down to comic books. Netflix bought Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Who owns DC Comics.
Yep.
What does that mean? Probably nothing.
Hopefully nothing.
Because there was who was it that bought Warner before? Discovery?
Yeah.
Yes.
When Discovery bought Warner, there was a lot of when someone new buys a comic book company, there's always worry that they're not going to publish comics.
Yeah, because it's like you have to explain to business people how comics does not necessarily make money. But you have to remind them, but we get Batman out of this. And that's what makes the real money.
And comics do make money. They just don't make the kind of money those big... When you just bought... When Netflix just put out, what was it? $70 billion or something? Or was it 84? I can't even remember.
Yeah, if you think of the editorial offices as an R&D department, comics are the only R&D department that actually that can pay off its expenses.
Make money. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, and it has to be sold that way, so to speak, because you got too many people not understanding that, and it can get scary.
And like I said, even if DC Comics only makes, I don't know, $10 million a year, that's $10 million a year you can count on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real money that you can leverage to buy $100 million, to borrow $100 million. Yeah.
Doesn't Netflix own Miller World?
Yes. Oh, that's right. They do own Miller World.
Then
what does that mean?
Yeah, and that's where it gets scary again. Who's going to then control the comic book section? Does it get sent to Miller? Does Miller get folded up? Oh, comics are comics. Fold everything up.
I cannot imagine Mark Miller wanting to be in charge of DC Comics.
He may not want to be. But again, Netflix can go, hey, you're going to run this.
Does Miller World get sucked into DC Comics? Can they now make Miller World comic? Can we see? Because he only makes the comics that Miller makes for Miller World are just pitches for shows.
Right.
Meaning it's 6 issues. That's it. He moves on to the next project. So now with DC there, they can maybe do something with his projects in the comic world. I would like to see a deluxe edition of Jupiter's Legacy. That I'd get. Because that's like one of my favorite superhero comics of the last 10 years.
And then
Even though Chris Girusso was making fun of me for saying I forget what. When I was talking about it.
where is Netflix located?
I don't know.
Do we
Los
see
Angeles.
another move?
Probably, yeah.
I would assume Los Angeles, but I don't know.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know. This is all fresh and new, and and again, it's like, or is DC small enough that it's like, oh, we'll let them do what they're doing until something is not working.
Well,
I imagine
they have a subsidiary in Amsterdam. So the okay, DC people, you're going to Amsterdam. Drugs and whores.
So who knows? This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, a new owner for DC.
New owner for DC, and
Well, remember when they were AOL Warner?
yep,
Uh-huh.
AOL Time Warner.
How much did it? 72 billion?
Something like this. The number was that high. I can't remember what it was.
But isn't that less than the value of the merger between Discovery and Warner?
I don't know. Discoveries that merger did not work out. I know that they were hemorrhaging money.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, wasn't AT&T involved first? Were they the ones?
Yes.
Did they sell the Discovery?
Yes.
So it was AT&T who was hemorrhaging money and sold to Discovery, and nobody can figure out what to do with DC except leave it alone.
It's not this DC. DC is not the problem. I mean,
DC is not a problem. I'm not saying that.
Right. Discovery merged with Time Warner. So
Right.
Discovery owns the Warner Brothers movie studios, and they don't know what to do with it. I mean, it doesn't really make sense considering those are the guys that make all the pseudo documentary slop that we see on cable TV.
Are they the Discovery Channel people?
Yes.
I was never sure of that, only because I'm like, how can the Discovery Channel be bigger than Warner Brothers? That never made any sense to me.
See, because there are like 27 different channels owned by Discovery, and about 6 of them are named Discovery, but the other ones aren't.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. DC's got a new owner.
Like they own the European equivalent of ESPN.
Huh. Netflix is also right now working on a animated version of Grimm, the Stephanie Phillips and Flaviano book that I bought that just ended at issue 25.
Mm.
So I guess they're looking for their own Invincible over at Netflix.
Maybe.
So I don't know if it's as successful as Invincible's on Prime, right?
I think so, yeah.
Expect those back issues to shoot up in price.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if lightning's going to strike twice, but all the Invincible back issues are worth a fortune now because of that animated show. Because nobody cared about it before that animated show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering. Like, I would like to see. I'm like, could it drive up the back issue prices of Grimm? I don't know, because nobody cares about Grimm right now.
Mm-hmm.
It would just be amazing to see all of a sudden people care about Grimm. I always find
Depends
that
how good.
fascinating.
It depends how good that animated series is.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
I know
How many people
nothing.
watch it?
I know nothing of Grimm. What is the story to that?
The story starts with, perfect for an animated series, a young woman who is a Grim Reaper. And there's there's like a whole bunch of Grim Reapers. There's Death, and there's a bunch of Grim Reapers who just go around and, bring people to the afterlife when they're dead.
Okay.
That sounds extremely familiar. And
Yeah, there's nothing particularly innovative about
it'll
it.
get the crowd from Supernatural.
Yeah.
It'll get the crowd from Dead Like Me.
no, I saw that in a webcomic 20 years ago.
Yeah, there's nothing new about it.
Yeah, it's an Australian webcomic with Legos.
I know I've seen the story before. But the one out of the 3 Grim Reapers, there's one is a woman, the other is like a hair metal band guy from the 80s. And the third one is a black guy. Is he an athlete? I don't remember what the black guy's thing was. But there was the 3 of them, and they were just going about their business, grim reaping. Then something happened where it became drama, afterlife, and we eventually found out that her father is Death, and Death died or something. I don't know. And she was supposed to take over for Death, but she didn't want to. And there's this, they have to end up having to go to hell, and there's all this afterlife drama going on. And they gave us the backstory on these characters, introduced more characters, but it was mainly those 3 characters. The black guy, the woman, and the hair band guy. And it was just about, drama in the afterlife. But it was a good series. I enjoyed it. The last issue was particularly good because sort of like near the end of the series, it started meandering off into these own individual stories. I really didn't know where it was going. And then it kind of wrapped up with someone else taking over for Death. And then the very last issue 25 was this wonderful little story about the woman who's the Grim Reaper, her daughter, who was a human being, and always had an absentee mother but some of the backstory was like she quit her job as a Reaper and went onto Earth and did this other stuff, and she was a terrible mother until she finally introduced her daughter to say, hey, I'm a Grim Reaper. You're the granddaughter of Death, but not really, because but it was a nice like epilogue issue. You rarely get epilogue issues in comics, or at least you rarely get good ones. In what one was that? Birthright. There was actually an epilogue final story arc. There were like 4 issues. That was really good. Most comics just end. Like even this story just ended. I hate when I really want, especially I really want a little end caption. Especially when a story ends really abruptly. I'm flipping pages, looking to see if I missed something. I'm like, oh no, that was the end. So it's like, give me a little end at the end. That's what I like.
Yeah, let me know it's done, and I'm not searching for another issue.
Right. Or even like, oh, did these pages stick together? Because it ended suddenly. It was like, boom, end. If you're going to end suddenly, let me know.
Yeah.
At the end, that it's the end. This is the end, my friend.
Is that what happened on The Sopranos?
That one I was okay with. Only because that usually doesn't happen. Well, it sometimes happens on TV. They just fade to black. But I was kind of expecting it on The Sopranos. I don't know why. I understand people being angry about it, but for some reason that one didn't make me angry. I don't know why. I have no explanation for you why it was okay for me on The Sopranos. Because I haven't watched it in so long.
Yeah, for me, if I was watching it and that happened, I probably would have been upset. But then again, I'm not too sure. Because as someone from the outside looking in, I just knowing that, that's how it ends, bothers me as the concept of it. It's like, what do you think happened? That's not my job to think what happens. Now, if I was watching the series, like you were, and you weren't surprised it ended that way, maybe that probably
That's it. It didn't take me long to catch on that was the ending. 20 seconds.
Right. Yeah, for me, it would be like, again, if I was watching it and I was used to the way the show was, and as you mentioned, you weren't overly surprised. Okay,
Right.
That's the ending, and you moved on with it. I think a lot of the people that I saw who were freaking out about it was freaking out about the concept of it ending that way, but I do not know if they were watchers. So
Yeah.
for me, it's like I knew of it. I may have seen a couple of episodes, but I didn't really got into it. So I wasn't watching it. And then when I found out how it ended, to me, it's like, I don't like that concept. I don't like the idea of having to, what do you think the ending is? Or what do you
Well, I
think?
don't even think it was that. To me, the ending was, okay, the paranoia never stops.
Okay.
There is no end to the paranoia of being a mob boss and thinking people are out to it. It never doesn't end. To me, that's what it was. It wasn't a what do you think the ending was to me. It was just it wasn't a choose your own ending. It was a here that paranoia never stops. There's not going to be an end to the paranoia of being a outlaw.
Okay. If I came to that realization, yeah, I think it would have been
Yeah.
okay. You explaining it that way makes me appreciate it more.
Right.
But I didn't know the theme of the series. I didn't watch it.
And like I said, I understand people being unhappy with it.
Yeah.
Don't Stop Believing. That was the song that was playing too.
Yep.
Which is a song that's opposite of the paranoia. Like, it was a complimentary. So then it wasn't to say anything about paranoia, just the opposite. Did you watch The Sopranos, Paolo?
I didn't watch most of the final season, which is why when I heard then what? You just don't. There's no winning.
The meaning was it was the life of a mob boss getting therapy. Guess what? The therapy didn't matter.
Yeah.
And what's surprising too is like I probably shouldn't get upset because being a kid of the 70s and the 80s, we had so many TV shows not end.
Oh yeah.
It would end, but you don't get an end story.
Not to mention comic books.
And comic books or animated series.
Yeah.
For as far as I know, the people from the animated series, where they journey to the center of the earth, they never got out.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware of, they never got out.
They're still there.
Because they're still
at
there.
The center of the earth.
We never got an ending story.
Sleepy Reader's with us.
Hey, Sleepy Reader.
Hello there.
Right. We never figured out what happened to the guys in Space 1999.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because I couldn't get through an episode.
Like, this is not Star Trek. What are they trying to do?
I can remember that. I think the first Space 1999 fan I ever knew was Tim Toohey from Marvel. He was an assistant editor at Marvel, Tim Toohey. And he was a Space 1999 fan. And I remember going, there are fans of Space 1999?
Yes.
To me, it was the, boring space show where they walked around with staple gun phasers or whatever they were. I never made it through an episode of Space 1999.
Yeah.
Robinson's still lost in space, I think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, one thing that I found funny, there's a last episode of the final episode of the A-Team.
Yeah?
Yeah. And they decide that they finally get the pardon. So what are we going to do now? The same thing we've been doing. Because that's what they do.
No, I'll always be thankful for the A-Team for, and it relates to my Great Gatsby illustrations and love for the Great Gatsby is the Great Gatsby was a face man. That was his, and I wouldn't know that if it wasn't for the A-Team. And I never hear anyone else say that when they've heard of Great Gatsby as a gangster or whatever. And in the 1940s, they portrayed him as a like real gangster. I forget who played him. But I was like, no, he's a face man.
Right.
And for those of you who don't know, who is it? Who played Face Man on the A-Team?
Dirk Benedict.
Derek Benedict.
Dirk Benedict.
Dirk.
He was Starbuck on the original Battlestar Galactica too.
And what a face man is when you're running some kind of illegal operation, you need a pretty guy who can fit in with the upper crust and whoever and that's why his name in there was Face. That's what they called him, because he was that's what the face man and any kind of illegal operation, the face man is the face of that operation in order to put everyone at ease.
Right.
We can trust this guy. And that's exactly what
always well tailored suits, drives around in a Corvette.
Right.
Impeccable hair.
He's got to look the part. And that's what Gatsby was. That's the kind of gangster Gatsby was in The Great Gatsby. He was the face man. Meyer Lansky, that's the guy who was based on. The gangster, his boss, the Jewish gangster, was like, he's like, I met him after the war. I knew I could use him good. He used to, I dressed him up, I fixed him up, and he used to stand high at the American Legion. And that's what that was his job. He was the one to get out there and make the deals, the illegal deals and stuff, because he was the face you can trust. And that's what I learned from the A-Team, what a face man was. Because you don't hear about that like anywhere else in the gangster stuff I've seen.
Yeah.
The end of Newhart was all a dream. Maybe better not get an end. That was a classic ending to Newhart. I enjoyed that ending.
Better than the St. Elseworld ending.
You should wear more sweaters. That was the greatest line.
What was the ending of the Love Boat?
What?
The Love Boat doesn't have an ending. It's the Love.
No. Shows didn't have an ending in those days.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, it doesn't matter because the Love Boat was an anthology.
Yeah. The Love Boat.
We always had the same characters, but that thing was an anthology. Good.
And speaking of things I didn't know were coming out until I saw it on the Final Order cutoff, here is a new Terry Moore one-shot. And I think it was kickstarted because there's a Kickstarter cover in the back. That means I know it was kickstarted. Because he said he wasn't going to be doing any comic books. He was just going to be doing graphic novels from now on. But here's a comic book that was kickstarted. Maybe he said it after this. I don't know.
But maybe that was supposed to be the graphic novel. And turns out it isn't.
This is just, he decided to do a Western story with Kachu and Francine. And that's pretty much what it is. There's some pinups in the back, too.
Nice.
Because he does a lot of like convention stuff. Some working drawings. But it was a nice single issue of Strangers in Paradise in a different setting. So if you're a Strangers in Paradise fan, Julie got arrested for dealing coke in Newhart.
Might be Julie.
No, in the Love Boat. No,
the Love Boat.
Julie was
the original cruise director.
Yes.
Then she got replaced with somebody else, and the actress got replaced with somebody else, and they said it was her sister.
Huh.
And they made action figures for the Love Boat. 3.75. Yep. 3.75 wow. And a Love Boat action play set, which was like half of the boat, so you could fit the characters into the spots they're supposed to be.
Oh wow! I never knew they made any Love Boat toys.
I only want Isaac in the bar. I don't want anything else.
That would be the best. That would be the reason to get that at all. It's just so you can have a little bar section.
To this day, I do Isaac the bartender double finger point.
Yeah. Maybe Gopher, but nobody else. I don't care about anybody else.
once you start getting the one, you're going to want the set so they could be hanging out at the bar when they should be working, like on the show.
When
But I agree with you on Gopher as well. Those are
when we
must-have.
were kids, now how you get a tape recorder and you start doing funny voices and making radio plays on your tape recorder sort of thing.
Right.
This
Yes.
is what we did in the 70s. I don't know if Paolo did it. The 70s
I
and
did
80s.
I did a couple.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
One of the characters I used to do was Dr. Bricker, which I
Really?
didn't know where I got the name from. It just popped in. Hi, this is Dr. Bricker. Who is the doctor on the Love Boat. I didn't find out until after I started doing the character, just because I was like, it's like, where did I get that name? I don't even know.
That's odd. You would go with him and not like Dr. Johnny Fever.
I don't know. I went with him for some reason. And he was my goofy voiced doctor. Dr. Bricker.
He was also on Get Smart.
Yeah.
He was. Wow. I
He
haven't
was,
watched
he was.
Get Smart in a long, long time.
He was on Get Smart, and he played the German officer in.
Hogan's Heroes?
No.
In that?
It was a comedy show, so something similar to Hee Haw, but it wasn't Hee Haw, where there'll be sketches, and he would play a German officer in.
Laughing?
Might have been Laughing.
But it might have been because I was somebody else who I know who played him in the 60s, but there was another Laughing in like the late 70s, early 80s he could have been in briefly.
It was very interesting, but stupid was his catchphrase.
No, I think that was a different guy on Laughing. I don't know.
Was it? I thought it was the same actor that played the doctor.
I have a vague memory of it being something else, but I'm not betting either way.
Yeah, going on, 30, 40. No, actually, at this point, 40-year-old memory.
Yeah, but you're right. There was somebody on Laughing who played like a German soldier.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, I remember that, but don't remember who. Bernie Kopel. That was his name.
Yeah.
Huh. Artie Johnson was the Laugh-In guy. Okay. Artie Johnson played the Germans. Bernie Kopel could have played it in that second version of Laugh-In. I don't think that was around very long when they relaunched it, and like, I don't know, 10 years later. Because that's the Laugh-In I remember watching as a kid, was like the late 70s or early 80s version.
Right. Okay.
Artie Johnson.
Or he could have done like a spoof on it.
Something else.
And then I merged them together in my mind.
Who knows? Another comic. You want to show? You have another comic to show us?
Yeah. So we have the next issue of Radioactive Spider-Man, issue number 2.
Now, what sets Radioactive Spider-Man apart from regular Spider-Man again?
I would guess, just going by the cover, it crosses over with X-Men stuff.
So you haven't actually read either one?
I have not actually read it at all.
What does it say in the front? Age of Regulation?
Age of Regulation?
That is a pretty bland and not very... Oh, Age of Revelation.
X-Men Age of Revelation.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a story... Let's see. Welcome to the Age of Revelation. X years ago, the X virus swept through the United States. This might be an alternate world.
Yeah. Where Spidey is radioactive. He is not uptight. He's not unattractive. Turn him loose tonight. He's radioactive.
Yeah, even his designs of Peter Parker looks so different.
Okay.
So I'm guessing this is another world storyline.
You know what? I rarely ever read them, but I'm glad they exist. All those weird alternate versions of everybody, because gives them something to do.
And I guess this is also part of like the Spider-Verse type things, because that might be Miles.
Okay.
In there.
Does Miles have the black mask?
Yes.
That what sets him apart?
And then Spider-Gwen is in this as well.
Ah, okay.
And then there's Miles without the mask. So yeah, that was Miles.
And Spider-Man looking pretty beat up.
Yep. I believe this is Aunt May on the other page.
Ah. Uh-huh. You're going to have to read it and find out what happened.
I am going to definitely have to read it. But as I said, it looks like it is a different world going on where an event happened, and here's what the United States currently looks like. So we getting a map.
Let's see. Revelation territories.
So it looks like
they own the
independent free nation of Texas.
San Francisco, new capital of the United States. Alaska, now part of Canada. Vancouver, BC, home of the last Wolverine.
There's a lot of stuff that's going on in this, and I'm not too sure, but it looks like they may have crossovers to other X-Men books. Amazing.
Sleepy's got to run. Have a great weekend. You have a great weekend.
Take care.
Too.
Have a good one.
See ya.
Yeah, I didn't see this page. So this is part of a major crossover thing that's going on.
Ah, Age of Revelation.
Yeah.
November
releases.
I wonder what was revealed.
Not too
Those
sure.
are all number 2s.
Those are all number 2 issues, and we have 2.
So you got to figure they're going to at least
10,
4.
12, 14, 16 books.
Wow.
Just released in November.
Wow.
For whatever this storyline is. And I'm going to attempt to get the whole storyline only out of the Spider-Man books. Because I am not looking for all those other books.
I got to figure they're going to at least 4 issues? So
I'm going to guess so.
64 issues in that. Wow.
Yeah, that's
storyline.
That's a commitment for a younger Wilson that's not going to read those.
Wonder how much the omnibus will cost.
Let's see, what else do we have? We got Gotcha Man issue number 14. My buddy Chris Batista is still working on it. He is.
Now, does Gotcha Man mean something in Japanese?
It is actually just, from what I recall, is that the main character was really just called Gotcha Man. That was like his name. And then the whole team is super. Oh, I forget the Super Science Force.
Well, it's just that it sounds like in English, "Got you, man."
Yeah, it has that sound.
Is that just coincidence?
I think so. But I have no idea if it actually translates to anything particular.
Or it's just a couple of words they love. But it has nothing to do with "Got you, man."
Correct. Beautiful stuff, though. But yes, I don't know. Maybe I'll try to look it up to find out if there is an actual translation. I don't think there is, only because usually if it doesn't have an actual translation, they would use whatever the translation is for the American audience. But they never changed it. I mean, they changed it in the sense of when we were kids, it was called Battle of the Planets or G-Force. For a short time, Ego Force, because they were, because of the birds thing. But they each have their own kind of code name. But if I remember correctly, that the main character for a while was like in other media, he would be just referred to as Gotcha Man, and then the rest of the team had their own name. I don't know if they're still doing it that way, but that's how I remember it being, because the creator of the series. He went on to create a whole bunch of other series that they all kind of could work in the same universe. and like the 5 main characters that he had in the other universes, they would have their own name, and his was always as Gotcha Man as part of that thing.
All right. Let's do another read, rip, and slab. Let me see what I
Sure.
have. Why not? Da-da-da-da. We're going to go to 1975. I think that's a good year.
Right? I was 4.
Huh. May 1975. Let's share that screen. Window. There we go. We've got Target number 3, Rich Buckler and Al Milgrom. We've got Tarzan 240, Joe Kubert. We've got Turok, Son of Stone 97, George Wilson.
I don't think I own any of these.
I don't think I have either. I think these are all new to me. There's a chance I had that Tarzan because I had random issues of Tarzan, but I have no idea.
I would have eventually got the Atlas book because there was a time I was thinking about, oh, there's not too many of them. Let me try to get them all, but I never
Easy
did.
to collect.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I may have had Target number 1. I don't remember.
And the Turok is from that time period where there were the painted covers that I really did enjoy. Those types of covers coming from Gold Key.
I'm pretty sure I never even knew Turok existed until like the 80s sometime.
I didn't know he
Goblin,
existed.
of course,
until-
already knows what he wants to do. Read Turok, rip Tarzan, slab man that Turo could be a fine hunk key. My John Target. Those are all old man comics. No doubt about that.
I'm going to read Tarzan, slab Man Stalker, and rip Turok. As usual, I have no appreciation for Gold Key.
I think I want to read that Turok just because I don't think I've ever read one.
I only ever read the newer Turoks from Valiant.
Yeah, I may have read some Valiant ones. I don't know.
And I want to slap the Man Stalker because that cover is so busy.
It is. That covers something special.
I think I would slab Tarzan because I like that cover. I would read Turok mainly because chances are that's just going to be a one-shot story, so it's not going to continue. Tarzan may continue, and the problem with reading Manstalker is going to be Atlas books never finished, so it's going to be maybe 3 issues. That might have been the last issue.
Yeah, I think that
they
might have
usually
been
ended at 3. Although they had stories that would continue. So yeah, I would slab Tarzan, I would read Turok, and that means I would have to rip Manstalker. Straight down the middle, separating the heroes and villains, if that's who's on the covers.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea what that's even about.
Somehow that Atlas John Target is the most nostalgic for me. Maybe because it looks like a Marvel Comics from the 70s.
Right, which is what its purpose was.
Yeah, it was trying to do.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to slab John Target Manstalker. And since I already want to read Turok, I'm going to have to rip up Tarzan. I'm going to save him from that lion by ripping right diagonally to get him separated.
Wilson, you're right about Tarzan. That starts adapting a Burroughs novel, and it goes on until 243.
Okay. See, yeah. So that's why I figured I'll slab it. So at least it's a nice Joe Kubert book, nice and protected. But I would replace the lion with the dolphin to attack Tarzan. And I would put the flamingos on that John Taggart cover just to make it even more busy.
I'm going to replace one of the dinosaurs with the dolphin, and I'm going to put the flamingos on the man stalker as well.
See, now I think I'm going to have to replace that lion with a dolphin because it's too scary for the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is. And I think I'm going to put the flamingos on top of those dinosaur necks.
Hey, what's going on? I'm on top of the dinosaur neck, and the Indians are throwing spears at me.
We're going to get that Turok, aren't we? Come on, dinos. We're riding you. Who do you think Rick Buckler copied that cover from? Because he was famous for swiping.
Namor? Maybe a Golden Age Namor book? A Stromberg cover?
Because that guy with the gun falling off the ship there definitely looks like he was swiped from somewhere.
Oh, that's the Gil Kane.
And the guy with the bullseye on his chest, I guess he's Manstalker. That's a very John Romita Sr. Captain America sliding, usually holding the shield and sliding across the page.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Wow.
That would be my guess.
That's very early Al Milgram.
Yeah, that is 75. But why would John Target, the hero, be killing someone on his own cover?
That guy's the target.
That just seems because originally, for some reason, until Wilson just talked here, I thought the guy with the bullseye in his chest would be the villain of the piece.
No, the guy on his chest is the guy with the Dracula cape. How long have you been reading comics? It's always the guy with the Dracula cape.
But his name, it's in the name, Man Stalker. He stalked that guy.
Yeah.
And John Target, he's got to have a target.
Yep.
Oh, the guy with the Dracula cape is throwing skulls at him. Oh, wow. Now I want that cover. Target number 3.
What's going on? I don't know, but there's a lot going on.
There's a lot happening there.
Being that it's a low-end book, that means I'll overpay for it on eBay.
This has to be this has to be Goodman's idea, because the bad guy is called Professor Death. Really,
Professor Death.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Professor Death. He throws exploding skulls at you. No pumpkin bombs for him. He's scarier than that.
And this was the first time that the comic was going to turn into a superhero comic, because no, not exactly. So he wore a different costume on number 2. And in number 1, no costume. It was just Target, no Man Stalker.
I think he was one of those guys who they changed concepts on. Like by issue 3, it was a completely different character.
Yeah, that happened. Let me check. All right, so the Brute was always the Brute.
That happened with Planet of the Vampires too. I know.
The Brute was always the Brute. The Cougar had 2 issues only. Demon Hunter had 1 issue. Then David Kraft brings the character to Marvel.
Yeah.
And in the character's first appearance at Marvel, he mentions events that happened in Demon Hunter. How were we supposed to know?
The funny thing was, I had Demon Hunter number 1 as a kid. It was one of the few Atlas comics I had. And I had the Defenders that interviewed, what was his name? Devil Slayer. And I was like, hey. Then, of course, I looked at the writer and was like, hey, it's the same character. So I always liked that as a kid, that he just brought which Devil Hunter into Demon Slayer, whichever one. I can't even remember which way it goes now. You like just continue the character with another company, different name, slightly different costume.
Yeah. The Phoenix gets a whole new costume in issue number 4, and it becomes Phoenix Protector.
And I think Planet of the Vampires changed entire concepts between 1 and 2. Like whatever the concept was for issue 1, by issue 2, they changed it all around. Well, it was a whole different concept.
The characters are the same. Police Action, starring Lomax and Luke Malone, Manhunter. Savage Combat Tales, starring Sergeant Stryker's Death Squad. I'm gonna do Marvel. They fired my son. I'm gonna do Marvel. Yeah, the Scorpion was a prototype for what Chaykin eventually did with Dominic Fortune.
And every other character he did.
Yeah, and then he's turned into a superhero in number 3.
All his Soldier of Fortune characters.
Yeah.
I think he had a few of them.
Tiger Man has absolutely the worst costume ever. The tarantula is way scary.
Tiger Man. Tiger Uppercut.
Western Action starring Kid Cody Gunfighter and the Comanche Kid. Larry Lieber cover. Wolf the Barbarian.
The Brute. That was the other one I had. I had Demon
Brute.
Slayer and The Brute number 1, I think, with like the 2 Atlas comics I had as a kid.
I may have had Scorpion, or it's just because that's Dominic Fortune on the cover.
Yeah.
Tiger Man, I remember looking that up at one point. Yeah, this was during the time I was looking at Atlas books to collect the whole series. They're a lot less expensive now than when I was first looking for them.
Yeah, I think
Iron
everybody
Jaw was another one.
Oh yeah.
I think everybody who wanted to collect them got tired of collecting them, so looked at them. What am I supposed to do with these?
They're a nice conversation piece, but then the conversation's over.
Well, maybe the black and white magazines, you could keep those. You know what? The hardest ones to find were Vicky, the Patsy Walker stand-in.
I didn't even know those existed till fairly recently.
Yeah, because it's obvious why those are the hardest to find. They're not the superhero comics, so they weren't kept.
Nope, nobody saved them.
And those things are reprints from something else from the 50s. They're not even original stories. They just changed the name of the character.
That's Stan Goldberg stuff. Yeah, $80. It's an issue 1 for $40.
A Vicky?
A Vicky, yeah.
Yeah, this is a reprint of TP Teen from Tower Comics.
Yeah, the lowest price one I could find is like $30. And then there are also a few books slabbed, 9.2 for $140. So they're up there in price, but as you said, probably no one kept them.
Yeah. If you're gonna get a Vicky, you better get a 9.8 slab, otherwise it's worthless.
But you can get like the issue that we had up there. That was issue 2, was it? You could get like 30 of them for like $20.
Maybe we can counterfeit a Vicky number 1.
There you go. No one will check that.
Yeah.
That'll be our test case.
Vicky number 1.
Vicky number 1.
We're not breaking the law. It's an experiment.
Yeah, it's only one copy, so it's under 48.
We have Wolf. Wolf the Barbarian. I do like the cover to the Planet of the Vampires.
Wolf the Barbarian.
Planet of the Vampires. Neil Adams cover. $4.99.
That's why it looks good.
I may have had that issue. Wild.
Let's see, what other comics did I get? Give you a quick look at Orphan and the Five Beasts, Bath of Blood, another James Stokoe one with his wild artwork. Let me see if I can get a big panel. Woo! That thing is next month's cover. But I was able to order. Oh, there we go. There's a nice double page spread. Someone, I think last week maybe, asked me if I picked, last week or the week before, asked me if I picked up the Tom Scioli issue of Twilight Zone. I said I didn't even know it existed.
Right.
But and then they said the next issue was going to be James Stokoe. So I was able to hit I think it's Twilight Zone #3. I guess what they're doing is they're giving whatever cartoonist one issue of the Twilight Zone to do. So issue 3 of Twilight Zone is going to be a James Stokoe issue. So I managed to pre-order that one. So some more James Stokoe on my way. I generally enjoy it. It's a little weird. It's a little manga-ish in a way for me, but I still like it.
The books that I have here from the list, not from the list, that I got from the shop is Thundercats issue number 21. Page. Nice classic looking Lionel. We also got a DC KO Titan, which is, I guess, is going through all the DC books, but Superman issue number 32.
Yeah, I noticed they're putting out one-shots too of somebody versus somebody.
Right.
DC KO.
Yeah, I saw that they kept announcing like, oh, this character is now going to be in it. So I know that they were saying that they're going to eventually have Superman versus this evil Superman from The Boys, whose name I don't recall right now.
The Homelander.
Ah, there you go. Okay, Homelander.
Who is part of the Millerverse, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So now DC can make Homelander comics.
Yeah.
But wasn't The Boys originally with DC and then they dropped it?
Because it was too violent. So
right.
And then, well, now that it's successful, of course, DC was going to have to do a crossover.
It wasn't even with DC. It was with
Dynamite.
With Wildstorm. It went to Dynamite from Wildstorm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But now that they're in vogue, DC can do them.
Yep, exactly. Absolute Batman issue number 14. His villains are getting bigger and bigger all the time.
Yeah. Is that Killer Croc?
I believe so. Oh no, actually that's Bane.
Oh, that's Bane.
That's Bane, and then Croc is, I guess, attacking him, or an alligator creature is attacking him. I'm going to imagine that Killer Croc, because that makes the most sense to me.
And Batman's just going to hit him with an axe.
Yep.
If you're a big, big tree, I'm a small axe, sharpened to cut you down. I know that from a UB40 song.
Ah. And then
man, I haven't thought about UB40 in years.
Yeah, probably since they came out is probably the last time I thought about them.
I had a UB40 album that I liked. I forget which one, but I enjoyed it. They had one album. I can't remember what its name was. I can't remember the songs on it, except for that one.
Except for that one?
I think Red Red Wine was on it too, which was their biggest hit.
That was the big hit, so yeah.
But I was never overly fond of that particular song.
We have Starship Godzilla issue number 2.
Starship Godzilla. I'm making up a theme song.
There you go.
He's Godzilla, except he's a starship. fly along with Godzilla.
Maybe
we know Godzilla can fly.
Maybe we can't do a song about Starship Godzilla. I have an account on that AI thing that makes music.
Oh,
Suno.
And then the last issue that I picked up, because you know me, I love a crossover. Godzilla destroys the Marvel Universe. I believe this is the last issue of this particular series. And since spoilers, by the way, kids, the Marvel Universe still exists, so I guess he didn't fully destroy the Marvel Universe. I won't spoil the story itself because it does have, because I did skip to the last page, and it's like it has actually a pretty good reveal. So
okay.
But it's a lot of fun. And if you're a Godzilla fan, the reveal would be one of those things where it's like, okay, that's pretty neat.
The old flying bathtub.
There you go. Yep. And those are the books from last week and the week before that I got. And
but one thing I forgot to show in a comic last week, one of the comics I got was called Arcadia from Ignition. And it was the story of, it took place in the future. Humans, there was an extinction event, and there were these, I think there's some sort of robots going around trying to figure out who they are and why they exist kind of story. And it really good, enjoyed it. But as you opened it up to a double page spread, in the upper corner where was a QR code where you could go to, and there was a song that went along with the double page spread.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
I thought it was, and then as you get to the last page, there's a QR code for a closing theme. Which I thought it worked pretty well. As I was reading it, I picked up my iPad and went there and just listened to it as I read for a couple of pages. I was like, oh, okay, that's all right.
That's
I forgot
cool.
to mention that last week when I was talking about the comic.
I think that's a good idea. I like that.
Comic Crack is here for the final 15 minutes. How you doing?
Hello, Comic Crack.
Fashionably late.
My last three comics, or last two comics, right? Another Ignition Press book. This one is Murder Podcast. This is the one where it's a lot of people talking. I like the artwork a lot. Jeremy Juan, Mike Tisserand. Jeremy Juan is the writer, but he's also an artist. He's just not drawn this. But this is the one where strange murders are happening, because if you listen to this podcast, you will murder someone. And in this issue, a toddler, there we go, or a small child, not quite a toddler, a little older than a toddler, ends up murdering her mother. And though they didn't show it, maybe murder baby. We don't know yet. But some creepy stuff going on in this one. You don't see a lot of baby murdering going on in comic books. But there's like the cops trying to figure it out. And there's a group of women podcast listeners who are trying to figure out, they want their own podcast kind of thing. And they're trying to figure out what's going on too. But nobody's tied it all together yet to this podcast. But it's a fun one. I've been enjoying it. Once again, the Ignition Press has been putting out some decent books. They're the ones who did that one with the music. And then the last one I got was Dead Samurai, issue number 4, which is a samurai story where there are zombies wandering around. A Bill Sienkiewicz cover. I haven't been overly fond of these Bill Sienkiewicz covers. This one actually looks better small. It looks better on screen, I think, than in real life. And not that they're terrible or anything. They just, all of these have had Bill Sienkiewicz covers, and they haven't been my favorite Bill Sienkiewicz covers by far. And it's by, who does it? The writer is John Dolmayan. The artist is Ryan Benjamin. The colorist is Pippa Boland. And the letterer is Josh Reed. And there's a lot of sort of regular historical stuff going on, along with zombies wandering around. Because there's conflict between the humans, too. But really, most of the zombies were in the first 2 issues as they overrun a castle. Or not as many zombies as in issues 3 or 4. But I'm enjoying this series. I better be, because it's a $6 series. But I figure with Bill Sienkiewicz covers and a heavy card stock, I'll go $6. I want Bill to get some work,
Yeah.
Keep him busy. Now I'm gonna have to add assorted crisis events to my pull list. See if I can track down issues 6 and 7.
And that set you have there is up to 5?
Yep, 1 to 5.
Okay.
And 7 was the latest one to come out. Usually what I do in this situation is first I ask my comic shop if they have any copies. Sometimes they do. I would doubt it with issue 6 and 7 of something, but this has been a fairly hot book. But then I'll see if they can reorder them, because sometimes the distributor still has copies.
Right.
And they can just reorder them and get them to me. And then maybe in 3 years, if I really like it, I'll order the individual issues. That's what happens.
But by which time the comic will have become a successful TV series, and it's going to cost you $100 to get all 6 issues.
Then I won't. I'm planning on people forgetting about it in 3 years, so I can get them for real cheap. If that happens, I'm not getting them. Like what did I get? What did I overpay for recently? A Department of Truth #1, an alternate cover, and like Department of Truth was one of those books that I jumped on, and I got the 5th or 6th issue or something, and I even got like a 5th printing of the first issue just because they had it. But then I was like, oh, I want to get a first printing of the first, and it was $5 plus, $6 shipping. So of course I ended up getting, and I think it was also autographed too, but I didn't really care about the autograph. But that's what I plan on doing. 2 years. If it's $40 2 years later, forget it.
Right.
I only overpay for $4 books,
There you
not
go.
$40 books. What's the most expensive current issue you've bought, Wilson? Can you remember?
Current issue?
What's the most you paid just in the last year or so? Because everything's $4 or $5 or $6. Were there any like $10 special issues you got?
Not that I could recall, other than maybe a graphic novel. I don't even think I spent more than $9.90. I think the Gamera book was the most I've spent on a comic book recently. That was $12.99.
What was the last Spider-Man anniversary that was giant sized? 800 or something like that?
I think so. I don't think I got the anniversary issue.
Huh.
I don't know. I haven't really been picking up anything expensive of the current stuff that I can recall. Even the reprints aren't all that expensive.
Some of the DC Golden Age ones are, but not the regular ones.
Yeah, I didn't pick up any of the Golden Age ones.
Because like I pay some of the more expensive one, like I pay $8 for that David Lapham book, but it's double sized, so it's like 2 comics. So I don't even know if that counts, but but like the most expensive ones I've seen are like $10 anniversary issues. I don't think I've gotten one of those in a while.
And because the Spider-Man 800 has so many covers, none of them look familiar. I don't know if I picked up that book. And I'm seeing Spider-Man 800 first print, Greg Land cover, $10.50. So that
Was that
probably
the cover
had.
price or the?
I don't know if that was the cover price. It up. Of course, the digital issue doesn't actually say the price it originally came out
No.
for.
$1 million.
The original
way-
retail price was $9.99.
Okay, yeah.
So I would have paid that. So Gamera is still leading the way
Yeah.
on
Well, that's a graphic
more
novel, so
expensive.
that's not
Yeah.
the same. I'm just talking like a
So-
single comic. By the way, I still have all my Scott Koblish, what is this, new history of the DC Universe covers out because I want to make a video of them all end to end.
Mhm.
But I haven't figured out a spot to do it because they're so long, and because I want to do, since I have 2 copies of each one, I can do back to front and lay all 8 of them out flat.
Yeah, you
But I'm like,
probably have to use like a dining room table with
yeah,
a leaf put in there, the
yeah,
Thanksgiving leaf, just to make it long enough.
right. I might have to do that, or on the floor somehow. But even
Yeah.
that, I'm not sure. But that's why they're still like hanging around in my Care Bears
Right.
holder, which is where I usually put my comics in to show you guys.
Right.
That Care Bear, Star Comics, Care Bears. Yes, this was in the Marvel Comics office that did Star Comics at one time.
That's right.
That is so weird. That is so strange to believe that.
That's a Marvel archive right there.
This was probably in Sid Jacobson's office.
Yeah.
In 1986 or something. And here it is at my house holding my comics. That's just so weird.
It's wild. It's funny how, we would have, strange Marvel stuff that if you're an employee, it's the only way you can get them. I finally got these together. I haven't decided how I'm going to display them,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I have from the Marvel picnic both a Frisbee and a key holder. I guess
Right.
this was really originally for.
Right. You're supposed to put your change and keys in it when you go swimming.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
hanging out in the pool.
And it was like, I have to find out if the photo that was taken from the bus accident was the same year, because then I could put the photo out with it.
I don't think it was, because I was just looking for my photos from 1996 and I didn't have any. I'm like, what?
Okay.
Something is weird here that I don't have. I'm gonna have to double check. I'll let you know.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know if that accident happened in 90. It might have been 95, but I don't recall the year.
But I'm like, I can't believe I went, because I have one of those key holders too. So I obviously went in 1996.
Right.
I'm like, why would I go there and not take a single photo that year? Because I took photos the other couple of years I went.
Right.
So I got to see if something's out of order or something got messed up, because I was like, where are my 1996 photos for that event?
Right. Exactly.
Because you showed that on Facebook or something, and that's when I went and looked for them. So now I'm like, what happened? My system has failed me, or did I?
And I
find it hard to believe that I took no photos.
And I don't remember if you had your camera with you.
I had them the
all.
other years. Why
like,
wouldn't I have it that year? I don't know.
Yeah.
I had a camera stolen in a New York City bar once.
Really?
I made the mistake of It was one of my Olympus Stylist's pocket cameras, which was, point and shoot. I don't even know how much it cost at the time, $200 maybe. And it was the first one. Someone always said it was about the size of a bar of Lever 2000 soap, which was a larger soap bar. And that was the one I kept with me all the time. And it was usually in my pants pocket. For some reason that night, I put it in my coat pocket.
Oh.
And then walked away from my coat at some point and went back and it wasn't there anymore. And I was like, I wonder what pictures were on that.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
The person even bothered to develop them, or they just pull it out, toss it.
So
You
just
have
sold
no
the
idea.
camera on the street to someone
Yeah.
else?
Maybe.
Who knows? But I immediately went out and bought another Olympus stylus and
Right.
never put it in my coat pocket again, that's for
Mhm.
sure. But I think that might have been the only thing I ever had stolen from me in New York City.
Right.
I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I don't think I've been lucky. I don't think I got anything stolen from me. Being in the city, and I went to many a bars,
Yeah.
but I've been lucky that has not happened to me.
I don't even know why I put it in my coat pocket that night, but I did.
I almost had something stolen from me did the same thing. I took my jacket off and I put stuff in, and I kept stuff in the pockets, and turned around, and whoever went through the pocket just left the stuff on the table. Was not interested in any of the items that I had. I think it might have been my glasses, and funny enough, a Captain America shield, a toy Captain America shield that I happened to have on me as a joke for something else that happened earlier that night. And it was like, went to this event, had it on me, and then it's like I turn around, it's like, why is the shield on the table? I put that in the pocket and then realized someone went through my pockets.
The only thing that was ever stolen from me at Marvel, and I always say this, there wasn't much stealing going on at Marvel.
Right.
Unlike the stories I hear over at DC Comics, where people were stealing everything that wasn't nailed down. Bunch has some stories about DC Comics for sure, about all the stealing that went on. There was never, there was artwork, but you never hear story except for a couple of incidents.
Right.
Somebody stealing like a lot of art or something like that. There wasn't like, and this was even the time that if you threw something away in your garbage can next to your table and it looked like a piece of art that might be important, you'd find it on your desk the next morning.
Right.
It's like the people who emptied the garbage were taking no chances. They saw that, boom, you'd find it, you're like, oh, I got to fold this up, and if I want it thrown away. You remember when CDs used to come in long boxes?
Yes.
I bought a long box CD of Oneida O'Day, jazz singer. I liked the picture on the front. I cut it out and taped it up to my lamp there. It was there for a couple of weeks. Then one day I came in and it was gone. And I'm like, someone stole my Oneida O'Day picture of all things? What a weird thing to there was probably like 3 people in the office who knew who she was.
Right.
Jack Abel, Paul Becton, and I'm not sure who else. But I'm like, why would anyone take that? And I knew even if it like fell off and fell to the floor, I'd find it on my desk my tabletop the next day.
Right.
I was like, Well, we should let Paolo get to bed.
Yes.
Here's some balloons for you. We'll be on Paolo's channel next week.
Yes. I already finished the Starship Godzilla song, so I'm going to listen to it tomorrow morning. I'm not going to listen.
All right, Starship Godzilla song.
Here we go.
Everybody have a good night out there. We'll catch you
Take
next
care.
time.
Have a good weekend.
See ya.